we are back. Today, we're going to be previewing and doing predictions for the Arnold Classic Bikini International title. So, the reason why I kept it kind of like almost a couple days out is because I wanted to know who is in Columbus currently and doing the show and in the show, because a lot of times, and we've seen this in the past couple of years, a lot of people who got invited dropped out, or last minute they can't get here due to visa travels. I think one athlete in men's physique who's like a top Olympian, he couldn't get here due to visa issues, and he's never had issues in the past, but just it's happened, eventually. But anyways, this is going to be a very interesting Arnold Classic, because back then you used to have a former Olympia or Arnold Classic champion in the show, but this year we don't have any top girls. And before anybody gets into saying anything about it, the Arnold is an invitational, so you have to apply and you get accepted to do the show. It's harder to get into the Arnold than it is to get into the Olympia. Even some of the top girls don't even apply, or some of them choose not to even do the show because they just didn't even want to do it at all. But it's interesting to see that former champions like Laura Lee, Jen, who have won the show, Issa, Janet, India, they're not in the show, or they just didn't apply. I mean, Laura Lee dropped out, Maureen dropped out, Maureen being a former Miss Olympia champion. So right now, this is anyone's for the taking right now. And a lot of people are going to say some of our top girls are going to be the front runner to win, but it could go like someone comes out of the blue and maybe surprises us. So this will be interesting. One thing to note is this is Angelica Teixeira's last show. This is her last ride. I understand why she's doing this, because she's doing it for her family, for her kids, to show them that she competed and she didn't retire just because she had her kids. And Angelica's always going to be a great ambassador for the sport and inspiration to many women, and I appreciate everything that she's done. She's the most sweetest people I've ever met in my life. And and she inspired many pros, even some active pros that we see today. And what she's done, I think that she's always going to be a great representation of the sport, and she always will have a great legacy to be remembered for. But that being said, let's get down to business. So here we go. Here's our list. So we have 10 girls. Back then it used to have like 15, 20 girls, but people drop out. I think because the cost of the show is a lot more, and the sanction fees that they have to pay, they had to like only come down to 10 versus adding another 10 more. Because for the Arnold, they fly you in, they give you hotel, they give you stipend. It's a lot that goes into the show. I think it's about almost 50,000 to 100 grand just to put on a division, prize money, sanction fees to the pro league. But Arnold is no different than any other promoter. He's a private promoter who pays sanction fees just like everybody else does. It just so happens that his show is one of the biggest of the years. Obviously there's the bodybuilding show, there's a strongman that's going on, and then there's the expo, which are all separate. Just to have all those things run over millions of dollars and have over 100,000 people in Columbus in that expo and in that convention center, it's a lot just to have. So when he said, I want the best bodybuilding show on the planet, he's saying, I have the best open men's show. That's why the main attraction for the whole show is men's open. And that's why the prize money for first place is $500,000. And it's almost 2.2 million in prize money given out to the top 6 guys. I don't think people can be really upset about that. They pay Classic, I think, more than Olympia does. I think Terrence Ruffin got $20,000 more than what the Olympia did. But that being said, we have to understand, like, it's his show. He's the promoter. They can do what they want. And he's saying, and he's putting his money where his mouth is. He's saying, I have the best open men's show. I just wanted to get that out because I feel like a lot of people say this and that about Arnold, but you kind of have to think what he's doing for the industry and what he's doing for open men's, because he wants the best athletes to come out to the show. The committee people who invite the athletes, they want the best to come out to the show. So we're moving on from that. That was just my little spiel. Let's get into bikini. So I'm going to look at first some of the competitors. First up, I'm going to look at is Vanya. So she got third in the Arnold last year. She did win the Arnold UK. She got qualified in the Brazil show, and she placed fifth at the Olympia. So if I can find what her Olympia looked like, or from her last show. So nothing in the back. She has a pretty solid front pose. I honestly think that best poser in the whole bikini right now. I definitely think she'll be up in those top spots. I don't want to get any copyright. But overall, I like the bounce and I love the flow of her physique. And she poses very excellent. I just think it's just a little more glute on her, and that's it. Just a little more glute density to compete with the top girls. But overall, love the flow of her physique. Love everything that she does. Just has to not come in too hard or too muscular in her legs, but upper body, everything pretty spot on. And I'm looking forward to seeing what she can do. I definitely think she has great posing conditioning, and I'm looking forward to what she does. All right, next up we have, I'm going to look at this list here. Going to go with Maria. Overall, I love the balance of her physique. And I definitely think, based on seeing her updates, she has improved a whole lot. Love her balance. She's one of the most balanced in the whole bikini. I just think for her, because she's a smaller girl, that's kind of like she can only add so much and she can't add too much to her frame. But I honestly think that if she comes out with confidence and poses excellent to that, I definitely think she can be up in that top spot. I don't know if she'll be, I could see her as high as at least fourth, fifth in this lineup, but it's going to be very tough with the top girls and how everyone's improving. I definitely see her in the top spots. If anything, she'll be in that middle of the pack kind of a thing. And that's not to be disrespectful. That's not taking anything away from, but it's just, this is very tough. I just think if she doesn't come in too hard like she did at the Olympia, I think that she pretty much got nailed down. Next, we have Jordan. So I have talked to Jordan and I had her on, that she said that her thing is trying to get her tie-ins and can lean down. She's trying to be like, when she tries to lean down, she's trying to balance out, not trying to be too hard in the front and too soft in the back because of her short glute insertions. I honestly think she's one of the most underrated physiques. And I actually has a physique that I feel like a lot of people are attainable. Maybe for me, if I'm picking at her, I wouldn't do the purple at the eyeshadow. I would just do like a bronzer, because it kind of like your eyes go to that first. But overall, she has a very pretty look, and I actually like to see what she's gonna do. And I've been keeping up with her Arnold Classic series, and she has another video dropping. And yeah, the updates, improvements that she's making, and she's improving every year, and she's gradually getting better, and she's gradually getting more experience. And I definitely see her up in those top spots, or maybe somewhere in between that fifth and sixth place spot. I'm looking forward to what she's going to do. And yeah, being already qualified, I definitely think that it gives her more confidence. But yeah, the improvements that she has made, it's definitely going to really show. And I definitely think that we're going to be very surprised to see what she can do. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm very excited for her. All right. Next, we have Ariana. This is her recent update. I definitely think that she's brought everything up and she brought her legs up. I mean, she did get 13th at the Olympic, which wasn't so bad. And a lot of people get discouraged when they go from a top spot and then they drop a couple spots down. But she kept herself positive, and I definitely say when I look at her, it's kind of like Andrew Jacked, where you look at her and you go, "That's Miss Olympia." You look when this person walks in the room, you look at her, you're like, "That's Miss Olympia," and she does look like a future Miss Olympia, and she has the most potential to do that. And you ask any coach, who do you think is going to be a Miss Olympia? They're saying Ariana Brothers because she has all the tools to become that and has the physique to be the face of the bikini division. I honestly think she could be very comparable to, Laura Lee and Janet almost, even though they had different routes of how they got to where they accomplished. But I'm honestly looking forward to it. I think she's going to surprise some people. A lot of people don't have her in that top 5 spots just based off her last placing. But when I'm looking here, I definitely think that it's very much improved, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she can do. Let me see from her last show. That was the previous Olympia. But I definitely say that, yeah, this is really drastically improved, especially in her legs. Because she's one of the taller girls. So it's just like having to like bring everything up and then just coming to and just nailing the conditioning part. But I definitely see the improvements. Now it's just going to be what happens on show day. All right. Next up, we have Amy. Can we find her Olympia? That was her last show. Here you go. I found that Gilco video. Here you go. I feel like if she can match her back to her front like she always has, that she has her glute and her fullness, and she doesn't look downsized, I definitely see her as in the top spots and maybe taking the win here. A lot of people say that she's going to be the girl to win it and she's the front runner to win it, but it's just going to be like how she goes and executes everything and how she peaks properly. And I'm looking forward to what she can do. I definitely see Amy in the top spots. It's just got to be like not getting so nervous and just coming everything together. Personally, I like her curly hair better than her straight. I did like the straight hair, but I feel like with everything that she has with her physique, I like the curls better. That's just me if I'm picking at anything on her. I don't mind the red suit. Blue is perfectly fine on her. It's just going to be having her nail everything down. All right, next we have Jazzy. So she got third at the Olympia, and a lot of people say that she's the girl to be a front runner to win it. I just think if she doesn't come in way too conditioned, way too hard, and she's pretty much spot on Saturday at prejudging, I definitely see her taking the thing and maybe winning this whole thing. I think for her, she doesn't expect too much, which I think that's what gives her the advantage. She doesn't put too much high expectations on her to do well. Like at the Olympia, she was just like, well, hoping to place. And even when I had her on, she was like, I just hope to at least place or even be on the final stage. But just how she performed and how she looked, I definitely say that all she can do is she can ride her momentum from the Olympiad going into this and come in spot on. Definitely see her, but it's just going to be like not being too vascular, not being too hard. But if she just nails it, comes in full, I definitely say her as a winner, or maybe in the top spots. I'm not that's not me downing. It's just like I'm just saying. I feel like we're just gonna have to see. Like I said, this is gonna be very like interesting to see this whole Arnold Classic. Next, we have Ashlyn. This is a recent update. I'm going to say much more improved. She is one of the smaller competitors, just kind of like a Maria, but everything she does, I feel like she's right there to be in the top spots. She's right there to be in like that top 5, top 3 at the Olympia. I feel like when people doubt her, she goes out and performs and it makes people eat their words. I feel everything Ashlyn is doing is she's in the right direction. I think her feedback from the Olympia was didn't have enough glute pop in the front. Honestly, like she's right there to like nail it. She's right there to do very well and actually like be in the top spots at the Olympia and to be in the top spot. I think any show that she goes into, she's a front runner to win. And I think if that little one thing is just there, that's no pun intended when I said it. I just feel like if that one thing was just right there and she nails it and presents it much better and has that confidence in the show, I definitely see that she's gonna be even in top 2 or even win this whole show. She could even, I believe that she can even win the whole Arnold, and it wouldn't be unbelievable for that to happen. I just think she has to come out like she's confident to win. Like when she defeated Ashley in the Clash show that she took second, it gave her confidence to go into another show and win the show. And she won her first show that way. And same thing when she won Tampa, she had that confidence winning a big show. Like, I did very well here. I can win any show. She challenged Issa. She defeated another Miss Olympia. If she brings that whole thing into this, like I can win this, and believes in herself and performs that way, I think she can take this whole show. I would say that our top 5 girls, I think top 5, top 6 girls could possibly win this whole show, and she's one of them. Right, next up, we have Tamikia. Tamikia has amazing physique. I couldn't find it. Oh, here we go. She has an amazing physique, like crazy ratios, like insane waist, beautiful girl. I wasn't a big fan of the red suit. I like the purple suit on her. Like that's her signature like color in my opinion. Um I think this is going to be very tougher. Love her. She is a very sweet person. I just think that with these top girls, it's going to be very tough just to, get past, but maybe I'd be proven wrong. My only critique on her was just, coming in too hard a lot of times, and just has to have that balance of not being too hard or not being too soft. And if she can just nail that, definitely, she is definitely someone that can be top 10 and even in the top 5 in a couple years down the road. It's just going to be how she looks pretty much, but it's going to be very tough. But to get qualified again, I don't think that would be very long. But I'm looking forward to what she can do. And I think she could surprise some people. I think that she could overtake some of these girls. Just going to be what happens. But yeah, that's just my take on her. I just have to see what happens. And I'm going to be doing a live on the Arnold. Here we go. I think I have Angelica. So this is from her last show, Atlantic Coast. I'm basically going off someone's last show versus what looked at the Olympia. I do think that it's just for her, she's like hard in the front and kind of soft in the back. I just feel like if she could just adjust a couple things in the front and be more tighter, and she has looked improved from based on what I'm seeing on updates. I definitely think that she can surprise us, but I do see her in the 6, 7, 8 spots at least. But I could be surprised that she makes into the top 5 spots. But I mean, I could eat my words. This is her last show. This is her last going, and I definitely think she's going to bring what she can do and her all time best. But I think her all time best, in my opinion, was 2018, like 2018 year. Like no one was beating her, but it's going to be very hard because how bikini has changed. But she's adapted very well, and I just got to see like how it goes, pretty much. See last physique update. She has gotten tighter in the front, so we'll just have to see. But for her physique to go from what she looked like from this to having kids and then getting snatched, I mean, I'm really impressed. I mean, that's just really gifted genetics, and I definitely think that she'll always go down as one of the best in bikini and best Brazilian bikini pros ever. But I'm excited for her. I'm very happy for her next chapter, and I think that she'll do very well here. I think it's not going to be a disappointment at all. All right, last we have Anastasia. I think it's Stasi. I think it was the North Carolina show. There you go. No, she did a class show. I just didn't have any film on it. But my critique for her was, just suit and makeup and just presentation. She has an amazing physique, but she's doing this because she won the Arnold Amateur overall. For her, for me, is just get hiring a makeup artist and hiring someone to do your hair. I feel like doing it yourself, it just didn't do you justice. She has a great physique, but I feel like one thing I noticed was from her front, if I remembered, was she had a little extension, but this looks much better. And I definitely think very much improved. She's gonna do very well in the season, but the one thing I just have to say is like it's gonna be hard to place her with these top girls because she hasn't had a pro win and hasn't qualified for the Olympia yet. But eventually she will, and I definitely think that a couple of improvements here and there, and if this comes out much better than before from her last show, because she did well at the Clash, got 4th, and then got 6th in North Carolina, and then I think she did one. I think maybe she did 1 or 2 more shows and then called it a season. But there's not much I can say because I haven't seen her enough. I've seen her only like in 2 shows, so I can't really say enough. She did win the Arnold Amateur, and this was awesome that she did this for that girl. But I just have to say, like, how the lineup looks. It's really hard to really pick. So with that being said, with what I have, I'm gonna get so much crap for this. We're gonna do predictions. So here we go. I got Jazzy. Crap. Going Amy. This is tough because I can interchange some of these like 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 3, 4 spots. I'm gonna go Ashlyn, Vanya, damn this. I'm gonna go Ariana. Maria. Jordan. Angelica. Temecula. Stassi. Like a part of me, like the 5, 6, 5, 5th through 8th spots are like that can interchange. It's gonna be like who shows up best, and I definitely think these top 4 look like our front runners to win. But I guess we'll have to wait and see how that goes. It's just this is going to be very tough, and it's this there's not just the Arnold Classic title, but also Olympia qualification. So the ones who are not qualified, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So half these girls aren't qualified versus half of them are already qualified. So Vanya, Jazzy, Jordan, and Angelica really don't have nothing to really lose. I think I'm gonna be pretty set for this. From what I've seen from a lot of people, they have Jazzy, Amy, Vanya, or they have one of those 3 winning, and then they're going like Maria and then someone else. But some part of me says Maria is gonna be 5th, and some part of me says that she's gonna be like somewhere between 6 and 7. But I'd like to see someone surprise me. I think someone can come out of the blue and really shock everybody. If that would be the most craziest thing that happened, like the whole world be set on fire. If someone came out of the blue and wound up winning this thing outside of our top 4 girls that we have. But we'll have to wait and see even how that goes. All right. So that's my preview